I wanted to go a little more specific in this video. So to kind of touch up on some things, with Seal of Command, you are able to proc both Fiery, that's the weapon enchant, and then also on-hit damage procs, such as that on Nightblade. What I used was this Grim Reaper right here, and then Arceus. Arceus would have been a good free one to have gotten it with. And Searing Blade, I was using that at first, but obviously it was too low level by the time I got Seal of Command. Um, so Seal of Command with your weapon, your two-hander. Right now I'm using Executioner's Cleaver. Um, when you swing, your auto attack will crit, or can crit, so you've got that. Then you have your Fiery, which I believe sometimes crits for like 60 damage. It's a little more rare. And then you could have your, if you've got a weapon with the damage proc naturally on it, that I think can also crit as well. Sometimes it's hard to tell with all the different damage procs just popping up on the screen. And another thing was something that I had discovered. I discovered it myself. I'm not saying that I'm the first one to, but it's not something that someone else told me about, or I went and searched up just somewhere on the forums or whatever. Something I was just curious about, because sometimes I'll look through the auction house for different items to just help me out. You could put Shadow Oil, or if you want Frost Oil, Shadow Oil does more damage, onto the weapon. So then you're looking at your auto attack, your Shadow Oil, your Fiery weapon, and then also your weapon's natural damage proc, all going off, and then going off again because Seal of Command procking. Now it's very random. I've been told it's called Seal of Casino, which I thought was hilarious, but I really didn't understand it until I played with Seal of Command for like 10 levels or whatever. Um, Aptly named, but to me that's what makes it so fun, because yeah, at the end of the day, Ret Paladin, everybody's right, you are mostly just smacking stuff with your two-hander. Um, but, and I say but, this is me personally, I love the uncertainty of the damage you can do. Because my motto is 5% of the time, you can do 50% of the enemy's health in one swing. I've had instances at first where I will one or two shot an enemy just because of all the damage procs. Just got lucky. Now, one of the big things, and it took me a little while to realize, and I was told, but I wasn't exactly sure. It's kind of sort of in the realm of age comes with wisdom. The slower weapon is better. Not just because Seal of Command's damage is based off of if you look on this weapon, when it says 127 to 191, it's based on that top end damage. Um, but the slower the weapon, increased chance of the proc your on hit effects, at least as far as Fiery goes, and I think Seal of Command as well. I'm assuming it's that way for all of them. Um, Now, to me, why this was such an important thing to learn is because I was using Grim Reaper, which is 3.10 speed. Um, if you're attacking faster, and say you do get lucky or whatever, for those weapon procs to go off, I think there's a cap on them. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe there's a cap per minute of like 7. I would need to go through and confirm this to see if it's unique to fiery or certain weapons or whatever. So if you're popping off and you dump all these weapon procs onto one mob, especially if it's like lower health, that's so much wasted damage that could be used either just straight up on your next pull, and it could lead to you potentially dying, because if you're sitting there and you swing, you miss, or you're hitting these just gimped regular autos, waiting for that timer or whatever on your damage procs. It sucks, and I don't know why it took me so long to realize just how bad it sucked. The realization came to when I was fighting things like level 46 or 7. So it took me a while, but I kind of got that. So As far as the actual build that I settled with, not even settled with, that I'm enjoying the most, I like to run Divine Intellect. I felt like Divine Intellect and Strength really didn't matter too much in the long run, but why I went with maybe it is the 10% strength probably later on is a nice bonus. I'm not sure. I haven't been to max level yet. I'm still uncertain about these two. But Divine Intellect, I felt like having the extra mana to get that last second judgment off, or if you need to pop a heal, because I mean this heals. Now I have downgraded healing spells before, so I'm aware of that. That was something I had learned pretty earlier on to do when I was forced to heal around like Morganth's Tower and Red Ridge and all that. Um, but I like just going for the chunky heal because I usually once I get 40-50%, that's when I pop the heal. I don't risk going any lower. I'll put on Concentration Aura, which brings me to my next point. Uh, Concentration Aura combined with Spiritual Focus, you have I think it's like 105%, but whatever, 100% chance to not get knocked back when casting your spell, which is I think if you're going to play Paladin, you 100% need to get this because there's nothing worse than when you're sitting there fighting something, you're about to die, and you keep up, 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 that keeps getting pushed back, and then you die or you almost die so many times because you're not able to get that heal off. Okay, that is like such an amazing fucking talent. I think it's 100%. I can't say it's going to be 100% needed, but I 100% recommend it, okay? This has saved my ass so many times, and I think it'll save yours too. And that's how, this is immediately how I went. I went 5, then 5, and I went straight over here. And at the time, I didn't think about it. It probably would have been better to go off with this because I was using Blessing of Might so much more in the beginning. But I went 5 into Benediction and 5 into Parry. Parry is so good. Um, I'm not sure how many other stats can boost your parry effect or chance, but you get when you parry something. This is 5%, so that's a noticeable change. When you parry something, you get what's called parry haste, and it does an auto attack right after, but it's like an enhanced speed auto attack. So it's like parry attack. You're not waiting for that 3 whatever second attack timer. Um, so this was just phenomenal. Um, and then obviously right after that, this was like the most exciting thing to get is Seal of Command. I've already discussed the procs for it, and that was just it was just so good. It like I love it just the random damage procs coming up, and you can randomly chunk things, and it adds in a certainty to combat, which to me makes Ret more enjoyable. Sometimes it sucks, but uh, it's kind of the trade off of being able to chunk so much. Obviously, right after that, it went straight to Conviction, and then Pursuit of Justice. I heard some things about some people don't really seem to like this at all, and they just go for the movement speed on the boots. My justification was these are basically useless to me, especially these two right here, which you would need to purchase 2 levels, but waste, in my opinion, 2 talent points in these for this build, um, in order to move up so you can get Sanctity Aura. Now this is 10% bonus to your Holy damage, which is going to affect your judgments and also Seal of Command um, when you expunge it or twist it, and it also the seal itself when it procs its holy damage. Uh, People will get the movement speed on their boots. I think it's better, but I prefer to get Pursuit of Justice because if you go on to your boots, you can just get an enchant for. I don't have it right now. I've been meaning to get it, but I was gonna upgrade anyway. Um, Strength enchant. It's a little minute, but it's extra. It's extra damage, and the points had to go somewhere, and this was just what I found to be the most convenient. Um, and then after that, with all this, you are able to go into Sanctity Aura. So you get Sanctity Aura, and then I went and did. I think it was like one or two in here, and then back to maxing out two-hand specialization, and then you max out Vengeance. This is just straight up more damage every time you can get a crit, every time you get a crit. And it also is affected by your judgments. I'm not sure. I need to test to see if the like fiery getting a crit affects that as well. It might. I'm not entirely sure. And I mean, this is as far as I've gotten for these, as far as the talents go. Because after, excuse me, after Vengeance, I maybe Repentance. Now, some people probably say, "Oh, that's stuff. It's a waste of talent." I personally think for hardcore, more CC, especially one that allows you, this is 6 seconds. You hit somebody or something with Repentance for 6 seconds, depending on the pull that you have. You're able to get off almost a full 100% heal on yourself, which is fucking amazing. 60 mana, full health. Now, for my playstyle, I only pull one mob at a time, depending on the area. Sometimes too, the risk is ridiculous with the hyper spawns. And some aggro ranges I'm not used to. Some ranged mobs seem to have a not better, longer range, and it throws me off frequently. So I'm still thinking about getting this. I'm not sure. Uh, but I was looking at the prot tree as well. The thing is, these both, I don't really see myself using. This less so with Sanctity Aura. Now, Redoubt seems like an incredibly strong talent, and the idea that popped into my head, and I've seen this in other videos as well, so it probably is good, is in certain situations, I don't put myself in those situations, but it's bound to happen. Um, Having the sword and the shield equipped, especially a faster weapon, and using Seal of Wisdom to regen mana. But that seems like more of an elite area or dungeon slash raid thing, and I don't really do those, so I'm not sure about investing into that. But for the talent points at the end, that's probably what I'll do. Having the shield and then the faster one hand to get the mana proc regen. And then so you get 5 into that. So let's see, we're at 27, so I have 3 more in there. 49, and then they're like 54, and then the big thing that I was looking for is this right here. This is the precision, that extra 3%. Because I've noticed I've missed a good bit of auto attacks, even with my two-handed axe skill was lower at the time. But it's such an annoyance when that happens because you're missing out on a huge chunk of your damage just with one auto miss. Especially because another thing is that Seal of Command misses as well. It's possible. So it's a very nasty thing to happen. And I had it happen frequently yesterday, and it almost got me killed near the Temple of Zul in the hinterlands. Um, so this would likely be the direction to go, but at the same time, it almost feels like I'd be hard pressed to say waste, but I really don't switch to shield that much and use Seal of Wisdom since if I'm running usually about 50% mana, I'll pop Blessing of Wisdom on myself, and I've been getting way better at managing mana. Um, I would at least go in here for two points to get into this, and then still undecided. Once I get 260, assuming I do, is when I'll make a lot more specific build, not really a build guide, but just kind of my own thing that I did that I found works the best.